The restaurant was buzzing with the usual Friday night chaos. The clinking of glasses, the low hum of laughter, and the sizzling aroma of steaks on the grill. But among that warm energy, something cold and cruel was about to unfold. Mia, a 22-year-old waitress with tired eyes but a gentle smile, hurried from table to table. She was in her final year of nursing school, working double shifts to afford her mother's medication. Despite the exhaustion written across her face, she carried herself with quiet grace, the kind that made people feel seen, even when she barely had time to breathe. Then they walked in. A group of loud, entitled teenagers draped in designer clothes, the kind who believed the world revolved around their laughter and daddy's money. At the head of the group was Liam Hartford, 18, son of a real estate mogul and self-proclaimed king of everything around him. His confidence was infectious, but so was his arrogance. He tossed his car keys to the valet without a glance, smirked, and strutted into the diner as though it was his personal stage. He'd never known hunger, never known what it meant to struggle. And that night, his careless cruelty would become the lesson of his life. CTA first. Before the story unfolds, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe for more powerful, true-to-life stories that restore your faith in humanity. Your support helps us spread kindness one story at a time. Mia approached their table with a kind smile. "Good evening. What can I get you all tonight?" Liam looked up, his smirk widening. "Oh, look, a waitress with manners. Cute." His friends laughed. Mia ignored the mockery. She'd dealt with worse. "Would you like to start with something to drink?" she asked, keeping her voice steady. Liam leaned back, pretending to study her. "Yeah, get me a soda, and make it fast, sweetheart." As she turned, he muttered just loud enough for everyone to hear, "Bet she only smiles like that for tips." The table erupted in laughter. Mia swallowed the hurt and walked away. She'd learned long ago that dignity meant not giving people like him the reaction they wanted. But across the diner, 10 men sat in leather jackets, quietly watching. Their jackets bore the unmistakable winged skull insignia, Hell's Angels. They weren't there to cause trouble. They just finished a long ride and wanted some peace, food, a beer, and brotherhood. But as men who valued respect above all else, they noticed everything, especially disrespect. When Mia returned with the drinks, Liam decided to up the humiliation. He picked up a few crumpled bills and dropped them on the floor. "Oops, guess I dropped your tip," he sneered. "Better pick it up, yeah?" His friends howled. Mia froze, her heart pounding. The small crowd of customers grew silent. She could feel every eye in the diner on her. She bent down slowly, not for the money, but to keep her tears hidden. That's when it happened. As she stood up, Liam, laughing uncontrollably, spat. Right on her uniform, the sound of laughter stopped. Every sound in the restaurant seemed to fade into silence. The sizzle from the kitchen, the clatter of dishes, gone. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. For a brief moment, Liam looked proud of himself, until he noticed 10 huge men stand up at once from the far corner booth. The Hell's Angels. Their leader, a broad-shouldered man named Bear, wiped his mouth slowly with a napkin and set it down. He was in his late 40s, with a face carved by the road and eyes that had seen both war and wisdom. He exchanged a silent look with his brothers, then started walking toward Liam's table. The sound of their boots echoed across the floor, slow, deliberate, unstoppable. Liam's laughter died instantly. "Hey, kid," Bear said, his deep voice calm but carrying weight. "You think that's funny?" Liam tried to stammer out a response. I was just joking, man." Bear leaned in closer, his presence like a mountain. "You call that a joke? Spitting on a woman who's working hard to earn her living?" The restaurant was dead silent. Even the manager froze behind the counter. I didn't mean anything by it," Liam whispered, his voice cracking. Bear's gaze flicked toward Mia, who stood trembling, her uniform stained but her eyes steady. "Miss," he said gently, "you okay?" She nodded weakly, embarrassed by the attention. "It's fine. I just want to finish my shift." Bear turned back to Liam. "You heard her. She just wants to work. But you thought humiliating her made you look strong. You thought money makes you better." One of the bikers, Tank, spoke from behind Bear. Kid, you ever cleaned tables? Ever worked a day for someone else? Liam shook his head. Bear leaned closer. Then maybe it's time you learn. The bikers didn't touch him. They didn't raise their voices. Instead, Bear motioned to the counter. Manager, get this kid a rag. The manager hesitated but obeyed. Bear placed the rag in Liam's shaking hand. You see that stain you made? You're going to clean it right now. Liam's face turned crimson. His friend sat frozen, not daring to move. Slowly, he bent down and wiped the uniform, the same spot he had spat on. Every motion burned his pride like acid. When he finished, Bear crouched beside him. Son, your money doesn't make you a man. Respect does. Remember that. Then Bear pulled a $500 bill from his wallet and handed it to Mia. For the trouble, sweetheart, and for your mom's medicine. Mia's eyes widened. How did you know? Bear smiled faintly. We've got daughters, too. The bikers stood, nodded respectfully to her, and walked out into the night, their engines roaring like thunder, fading into the horizon. Liam sat frozen, shaking. His friends quietly slipped away, leaving him alone in the booth with the weight of what he'd done. That night, he didn't go home right away. He drove aimlessly until dawn, the guilt clawing at his chest. He thought about the waitress, her eyes full of pain and strength. He thought about the bikers who didn't punch him but made him face his shame. And for the first time, he felt small in the right way. The next morning, Liam returned to the diner. Mia was wiping down the counter, her tired eyes still kind but cautious. He approached her slowly. Hey, he said softly, I came to apologize. She looked up, uncertain. I was wrong. There's no excuse. I was just trying to impress people who don't even matter. He took a deep breath. Can I help out today? Maybe serve tables? Just to make things right. Mia hesitated, then nodded. Okay, but you'll need an apron. For the rest of that day, Liam carried trays, cleaned spills, and took orders. People stared, some snickered, but he didn't care. For once, he was earning something with his hands, not his father's money. When his shift ended, he handed Mia his tip jar, $150, and said, Use it for your mom's meds. She smiled, and for the first time, it wasn't out of obligation. Thank you, Liam, really. He walked out of the diner, the evening sun bathing the parking lot in gold. The sound of motorcycles echoed faintly in the distance, a reminder that someone had been watching, guiding him, changing his path without violence, only truth. CTA second. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe. Share this video to remind others that true strength lies not in power or wealth, but in respect, humility, and kindness.